How's everyone doing out there? Pat here from Tor Physio Performance, and today what I want to talk to you about is the rear foot elevated split squat. Last video I explained a little bit about deadlift and why we like to use that exercise here at Tor Physio. Well, today I want to do the same thing with the rear foot elevated split squat. So as we talked about in the last video, putting force into the ground is going to be very, very important for us because speed is becoming the name of the game if you want to play at any higher levels, any Division I, professional level, anything like that. You're going to need some speed. If you don't have any speed, then it's going to be really hard for you to keep up with the rest of the field. So being able to create a lot of force into the ground is going to be key for us. So the second staple exercise that we like to use here is the rear foot elevated split squat. What that drill is going to let us do is it's going to let us work on some single leg work. So when we're doing single leg work, we do not have to load up the athlete as much as we would if we were doing a bilateral exercise, for example, a front squat. The reason we like to do that is that's going to help manage the amount of load that we have on the spine. So, and when we play golf, we have a lot of rotation, a lot of torque on our spine that causes a lot of stress on the spine. And also, we like to do the hex bar deadlifts, which are a great staple exercise that we're putting stress on the spine in a safe manner. But we need to manage how much we do that. So if we do it in a single leg fashion, we don't have to use much weight and we don't have to load up the back. That's going to be a little bit safer on our spine. So that's one of the main reasons we like to do it. Second reason we like to do it is we get to use, you get a good combination of hip dominance and knee dominance, and I will show you that as I go through and show you a couple options. And then another great reason that we use it is we're going to get a lot of hip stability and we get a lot of balance work. Having to stay in this position on one leg, it's really important for us to be able to stay stable on that leg so we don't fall over as we're holding on to heavy weights. So that's a third added benefit. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few different ways of how we would like to load it, how we like to set it up, and the ways that we can bias either making it a little more knee dominant or we can make it a little more hip dominant. Alright, the first option we would use to load would be a kettlebell. We're going to load it over the leg that's going to be on the ground, and from there it's going to look a little something like this. So, walking out, laces down flat on the bench. From there, find a good spot with your foot. Drive that knee down nice and close to the ground, drive back up. So if we want to bias the quad or making it knee dominant, we're going to keep most of our weight towards that front leg. If we want to make it a little more hip dominant or get a little more glute and hamstring, what we're going to do is we're going to sit back a little bit more, and that's going to get us a little bit more into our hip. After we load up with the kettlebell, the next option would be with 2 dumbbells. Same principle applies here. If we want to feel a little bit more on the quad, we go towards the knee, more towards the hip, come back, shift the weight back. Looks a little something like this. All right, the next progression that's going to make it a little bit harder on you is we're going to load it up with a barbell. So you would do it in a rack, ideally, but today, just for the video's sake, I'm going to show you here with no weight and a barbell on my back. But what you would do is you would unrack the weight, and then you would get yourself set up, and then go back and re-weight. Looks something like this. Oh, I'm going to take the barbell up on the back in a back-loaded position, and then from here, we're going to find flat laces on the bench. And from there, we're going to go nice and deep, drive it back up. All right, if you really want to get the most out of this, and you want to get the most training effect, we got our famous banded hex bar, weighted vest, chain, rear foot elevated split squat. It's going to look a little something like this. And have some fun with it. If you have any questions, let us know.